The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ooh, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the third and final chapter of our Kids on Bike story of the Ravnos Archon. I'll be your storyteller this evening. And before we jump into it, I'd like to give our players a little chance to introduce us to the adult version of their characters and give us a little bit of what's happened since 1987 till today.
Hello. I am Lonnie. I will be playing Rebecca Grace Winters. She has kind of closed into herself as her adult self. She's 21 now. She has a few friends that she hangs out with, but she's kind of that weird girl that doesn't really talk to anyone and kind of keeps to herself. Her fashion statement is now just black everything. Yeah.
How's that for a role reversal? Uh, Hello, I am the Reverend Benjamin Powers, and I'll be playing Thomas Tommy Corey, the sixth. So, in the interim, Tommy is now 22 after a disagreement with his father over the quarry being turned over to other parties. He has taken over the library. He has gone to school. He just graduated with library sciences, and he effortlessly just seemed to inherit the place. And he's been busy.
I like it. Um,
Oh, and he got married.
and you got married.
And he got married. Has a kid on the way.
Yeah, the first of the two of you to get married.
Yep.
So, before anything, in the winter of 1692, 300 years ago, the world saw a fever running through Salem, Massachusetts. This is not a fever of the body, as it was a fever of the mind, a fever of distrust that washed over and ebbed out over all of New England, because witches were hiding amongst God's flock. Satan's own were trying to corrupt and enslave his devoted. And the Salem witch trials have been etched into our historical records as one of the examples of humanity at its worst. A feat that it seems that we are hell-bent on trying to top because of recent events. But as it has been said before, if we don't learn from the ghosts of our past, we're doomed to be haunted forever by them. And as all good ghost stories start, we start ours tonight with Once Upon a Time in a quiet neighborhood on a sleepy little island in the middle of the Sea of Hades. There in the blue that stretches out as far as the eye can see, there was a call to action. Villains had descended on the little hamlet home of our would be heroes. Lives were being traded away like cattle. Children were being sacrificed for the sins of their ancestors. Blood was being paid in blood. And at the heart of it all were the three Van de Pas sisters. Naomi, the youngest, would care for the children of their neighbors in Old Salem. She was kind and jovial, without a hint of malice in her. Joanna, the middle child, would forage in the wilds for mushrooms and berries and mosses and saps for their herbal remedies. And Alessandra, the eldest, would cook and clean, and not just their home, but their game. She was the huntress, after all. If they could be compared to Greek goddesses that came before them, Naomi would be Persephone, fair and lovely. Joanna would be Demeter, homely and inviting. And Alessandra would be Artemis, just and observant. And the three sisters were loved by most in their neighborhood, but all would turn sour with the whispers of witchcraft that swept through the villages. Women were being punished for crimes against their very livelihood. Healing with herbs was not a science, but a sign of the powers bestowed upon them by Satan himself. They were heralded by a pack of black cats, or sometimes a flurry of bats, or even a scampering of rats. All of that, and their potential and their pointed hats, or so the masses were led to believe. And one cloud-heavy night, all their sweetness and their salves and their sympathy fell on deaf ears as the men were gathered by the Honorable Reverend Balthasar Meeks outside of their home. The hands of the congregation had lost their softness and their concern. What had once been the hands of their neighbors and their friends were now the hands of their violent oppressors, the hands of their unjust peers, and the hands of their unchecked executioners. The moon hung low in the night sky as they were paddled over to the hollow where so many others had been tried before, where so many others had died before. And as it were, uh, on the stones of the foundation of the church that the three Van de Pas sisters paid the ultimate price for their goodwill, Old Church Hill is where Naomi had her body crushed by stone. Old Church Hill is where Joanna had her body held under the cold waters of Massachusetts Bay. Old Church Hill is where Alessandra had her body burnt beyond recognition. This is the place where their screams were snuffed out. This is the place where their lives came to a close. This is also the place where their vengeance was born, molded, and refined. Ewards Hollow has been the shadow of the witch since those events 300 years ago. But is it really something that can be, or even should be, freed from the debt it has to pay? We open on a cooler than average May 4th, 1992, in Ewards Hollow. It is Monday, it is overcast, and the otherwise quiet town is gearing up for what could be the wedding of the decade. Alice Winters will be marrying her academy sweetheart, Timothy Lyons. The couple's ceremony has brought renewed energy to the island. Several of the people that left are coming back. The streets are alive once more. The year has started off with a rocky start. In February, the main government building on the island saw the majority of it burned down, with the body of a janitor being the only casualty. The main records, some dating back to the 1800s, were unfortunately destroyed in the blaze. The reconstruction efforts have been leaning more towards restoration, with Mayor Corey pushing to bring the government offices to the new modernized building near the quarry that the military engineers had built. On the mainland, the forest fire is being blamed on the same arsonist rampaging along the coastline. Luckily, the old government building has been the only one to fall under the rampage of this arsonist. Uh, Also, luckily for everyone, the old government building has been declared a historical landmark. Uh, on a lighter note, however, the eldest of the Winter children is getting married. A huge ceremony has been planned, and the whole of Old Church Hill has been prepared for the ceremony. And even the military engineers on the island have created a floating bridge from the Outlook Beach northwest to the very island that the church rests on. Wreaths of tulips, daffodils, hyacinths, and, of course, roses adorn the bridge, making it quite the sight to see. At the request of Mayor Corey, the military base has also given the bride and groom their own helicopter entrance for their wedding day, with a special airlift for the happy couple and their whole wedding party as they are flown around the island before being dropped off at the lighthouse for the dinner and dancing to follow the wedding. Mayor Corey has happily gone out of his way to make sure that the Winters family is taken care of. This is, after all, a time to celebrate life and spring and what the future holds, and not what the past has tried to dredge up. The shadows existed long before, and they will exist long after, assuming that there's no one around to stop them. So we find Rebecca on the ferry in the morning, coming in May 4th, Monday. What does this day look like to you?
Um, he is regretting coming back. Um, but she also knows that she has to be there for her sister because they're the only family they have left. So she is wearing just all black. She looks like she's going to a funeral. She's not, she doesn't look like she's going to a wedding at all. A lot of the other people that are on the ferry all are keeping their distance away from her. They're not really sure if she's dangerous. They just get a weird vibe from her, but she's just nose in a book, um, writing notes from the book until she is where she needs to be, and she's just not talking to no.
Is Joshua with you?
Uh, he is, but he has gotten used to her being kind of a like quiet and to herself. So he patiently just sits there and he tries to get her to talk, but she doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, I could see him just kind of like looking out over the side of the boat. Hey, you excited to be back?
Not really. I mean, I'm only here for my sister, so once this is
Oh,
done, I'm gonna go back.
Tommy know that you're coming?
I haven't told him. We haven't talked since what happened 5 years ago, so
Are you gonna be okay with him being married to Veronica?
as long as she doesn't cause anything, we should be fine.
She still hasn't apologized.
No? I mean, with how she was in high school, I didn't expect her to apologize, so I just moved on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe you won't have to deal with them. You know?
I feel if Tommy does show up, he's gonna bring Veronica, so
Yeah, but we won't be sitting at the same table. Like,
probably not, but
yeah. So Tim,
yeah.
I thought things would end once they got to college.
No, they talked. They still kept in touch when they went to college. They went to 2 different ones, obviously, but they
Mm.
still kept in touch, and my sister even let me read some of the cute little love notes he sent her. It's really sweet.
Yeah, I didn't ever think he had that kind of side to him.
People will surprise you. Like, I never thought that Tommy would marry Veronica, but here we are. So, you know,
Yeah. And you see him start to just trail off as his sight catches the horizon. It's a cooler than average day. There's a bit of a breeze, and you're not sure if it's you or just the weather, but the closer you get to the hollow, the colder you feel.
she just pulls her jacket tighter around her.
And speaking of Tommy, where do we find him this Monday morning as the first
Well,
of the ferries are coming in?
well, if it's Monday morning, chances are I am at the library. Um, it's first day of the week. Got to get everything prepped. Go over the expense reports. I know that I'm going to be fairly busy once school gets out, and all the kids make their way over here. So I take the morning and kind of just do my busy work. Um, just chat amiably with the other librarians and volunteers.
Most of the librarians don't come in till afternoon. Um, so the mornings see you by yourself a lot. Um, one of the non payroll, I would say, staples of your mornings, though, is Gage.
Oh,
Gage has enjoyed spending time in the library now that you're there. Is this something that Tommy would be okay with?
Gage is still a creepy ghost kid, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Sure, why not? I murdered 2 witches. I got eviscerated 5 years ago. Yeah, sure, Tommy can hang out.
Um, do you think that you would attribute the haunting, and I use the term loosely, of Gage to you because of the events that happened 5 years ago?
I would say that it's a distinct possibility. Tommy's theory would be that because the last witch is still around, Tommy can't move on. And so if Tommy has to hang out for a couple years, it might as well be with a friend of his. So occasionally when people aren't around or they don't or he doesn't think there people are around, he'll actually read to Gage.
Okay.
um, he'll pull out some Encyclopedia Brown books and read to him, just as a thing. And he'll talk out loud a lot too when he's planning. He might even can he appear to other people, or am I the only one that could see him if he
No
exerts
one
effort?
else has brought his existence up to you.
Okay. What if I brought his existence up to other people?
Um, they wouldn't be surprised that you're bringing it up, but they also wouldn't buy into it.
Well, I'm mostly thinking that my apprentices might find it amusing to know the library is really haunted.
They do, but like typical, the other librarians and people that aren't Veronica, they
No, no, no. She would no. She knows that those events kind of messed him up a bit, and contributed to a lot of the deterioration between his relationship with his parents. Um, but the library has kind of become his new sanctuary. He has a little apartment, across the street from it, and he's definitely moved out of the Corey household, Corey Manor. Uh, he spends most of the time with Veronica, where they're going to be expecting the new baby in a couple months. The rest of the time is spent at the library or covertly assessing the quarry.
Yeah. The gauge has become a staple of the library. Your apprentices have never seen him, but they felt him. They can feel the coldness, the temperature drop. Um, do you think Gage is the only one that has taken to following Tommy around?
Oh no, no, no. I would say probably if Becca left and the only person left to act as a, because I mean they were all kids for the most part when they died. So the only people that stood up to the witches were Tommy and Bex. And if Bex is gone, that means that Tommy is probably looked at by the dead children as being the one that's going to protect them from the third witch. So I imagine he spends a lot of his time being uh, meeting people that aren't really there.
Okay. Um, so it gets to be about 11:45. You can hear the deep, long whistle of the boat of the ferry as it's pulling in. And the little bell above the door dings the entrance of a customer uh, and into the at least the foyer. And as the double doors open, you see a face that has become, I think, interesting but a nuisance at times. Uh, Brian Thatcher's older brother, uh, Ian Thatcher. He
Mhm.
he is a little bit of a local celebrity in that he has a television show that he produces on UHF, uh, where he just will go around and try to find proof of the supernatural. Uh, One episode has gotten at least regional attention because he has caught something of a floating specter, a little bit of a shadow person in the lighthouse. But he comes in, he's about 26, 27. He stinks of marijuana.
As one does.
Yeah, in the 90s. But he comes over, hey, Mr. Corey, hey, morning.
Mr. Fletcher, you're older than I am. Don't call me Mr. Corey. It's Tommy.
Oh, no, man, you're in charge. I was taught to respect my elders.
But you know what? Never mind.
All
You
right,
here to
cool.
check out Crowley again?
Nah. You have anything with pictures? I have, and you see him just space out.
Tommy just kind of smiles to himself, waiting, used to this.
Yeah. And after a few minutes, he comes back and he's just like, uh, dude, I think I saw like a werewolf last night.
Really?
I think so.
What made you think it was a werewolf?
I mean, it was big, Mr. Corey. Like, it was like, and you see him put his hand about his chest level. I, that's got to be a werewolf, right?
Well, typically werewolves would be more like this, but that's only if they're in their half wolf form, half man, half wolf. Werewolves have multiple forms.
No.
Oh yeah, yeah. They have a human form, a wolf form, and a half form.
That's wild.
I know, right? So
You
you're
got any
looking for
books?
books with pictures of werewolves?
Yeah. I just want to see. And you see him again. He just loses himself.
And at that moment, a woman in maybe her 60s, with the fashion sense of a woman from the 50s, comes over, hair coiffed, glasses perched on her nose, and puts a copy of the Time Life Hidden World series on the table. And it happens to be about shapeshifters.
Okay.
Those were my favorite books when I was a kid in the 90s. I love those.
But he comes back and he's like, yeah, so Mr. Corey, like, are werewolves a thing on the island?
Well, I don't know. I've never seen one.
Right on.
But you never know. Some people say that there's all sorts of things that people think are on the island. I mean, people think that there's witches on the island, or were. People think that there's ghosts on the island. I mean, someone probably thinks there's vampires here.
Whoa, vampires. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, unless one attacked you. But I mean, the werewolf didn't get you. So maybe vampires are pacifists too.
That would be a trip, Mr. Corey.
It would indeed be a trip. Here you go. And he kind of absently reaches over and stamps the book and hands it over to him.
He grabs it and he's just like, I didn't even give you my library card, Mr. Corey.
Don't worry, Mr. Fletcher. I know it.
All right,
See
cool.
you, see you Monday. You have a
Yeah.
week.
All right. And you see him slowly turn around and ramble out. But the old woman just kind of like shakes her head. This little sign goes back to shelving books.
Rachel, do you
She
think
stops.
there's werewolves here?
She turns with a look of incredulity on her face. No.
Okay, just asking. I'm just curious.
I think we would know if there was a wolf on the island.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I've seen a wolf on the island. I don't think it was a werewolf, but I was a kid then. I haven't seen it since.
Hmm. Can't say I've seen one.
Well, I'm sure you've seen a great many things that I haven't. That's what makes this world a wonderful place, Rachel.
She
Shared
nods
experiences,
and
different
walks
viewpoints.
walks away.
He looks over at Gage, that, just kind of sitting there. See, not everybody's as great a listener as you are.
He nods. And
Hardy
night
Boys or
night
Hardy Boys or
falls.
Encyclopedia Brown later.
He shrugs and points at you. And as you read to him for the rest of the day, find yourselves in the new night falls on the island. And word gets back to you that Rebecca's back.
Oh, really?
Somebody saw her and Josh.
Well, that's a thing. She didn't write. She didn't return any of my letters I've sent over the last 5 years. Uh, hmm. Well, I could handle this a few different ways. I could be mature and see her at the wedding and make small talk and try not to make things awkward. It is her sister's day, after all. Or I can go over to her parents' house now because they still live in the same house, and chances are she'd at least be staying there for dinner. And I haven't had dinner over there in a while. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Steven, you're locking up tonight.
Like, all right.
Thanks, champ.
So you're just gonna go show up to the Winters house unannounced?
Reckless.
Perfect. So you show up.
Besides, the family loves me. I grew up over there.
Yeah. You show up and you see a familiar car is parked in the driveway. What is the car that your father would drive in this time period?
I'm not good at cars, so we're just gonna. I don't know what cars came on a convertible. I guess I don't know. Like, I
Okay.
don't know cars.
For the first time in 5 years, Tommy pulls up and sees that Mr. Winters has actually returned to uh, Ewards Hollow. Is this something that Rebecca was expecting? Did she find out about this, or is this a surprise for her?
Her sister had told her that their father might show up. It was not confirmed, so she was expecting it. So
Okay. He is out of he looks like he's a fish out of water. He is trying to be as helpful as possible. Uh, but it definitely does feel like your mother does not want him there. And as he's pulled up in the driveway, you see another car pull up outside, and this one has Tommy in the driver's seat. And there's a moment where
Uh,
both of you lock eyes as he comes to a park.
Depeche Mode's "Enjoy the Silence" is currently playing in the car. Uh, it's May, so he's got the windows rolled down, and when he sees Becca, this giant smile just comes over his face. Hi, Bex.
hi, Tommy. How are you been?
Not bad. Not bad. I didn't know you were coming. And he gets out of the car. Same smile on his face.
You see Mr. Winters just kind of look at you and he's just like, Thomas? Thomas, you've grown into a man. And he comes over, hand
Hey,
extended.
Thomas is my father. It's Tommy, especially with my friends.
All right. And he grabs you by the hand, and after one or two shakes, he actually does pull you into a hug.
The man grip, pulls him into the hug.
Yeah. Yeah, but he now has the look of relaxation starting to creep over his face now that he has somebody that he can anchor to if worst comes to worst. But Mrs. Winters sees you, sees him, and there's a mixture of disdain and joy that comes over her face. But she just motions everybody to come inside.
Oh, you don't mind if I come in for dinner, do you?
No,
I was just going to stop over to say hi, but man, is that your cornbread?
There's
Oh,
plenty.
Miss Winters, I love your cornbread.
And they set aside and actually seat at the table. It is Mrs. Winters, Mr. Winters, Alice, Timothy, Rebecca, Joshua, and odd man out is Tommy Corey.
Josh, I haven't seen you in forever. How you doing?
Oh yeah. What's up, Tommy?
Nothing much. You look good. You been working out?
Yeah. There's this thing called yoga that people are doing.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
Lots of stretching.
Yeah. Makes me flexible.
Yeah.
You see him start twisting.
See, Bex, he stretches and he's got brains. By the way, I love the new look. I feel like we had kind of a role reversal in the last few years. You look great in black.
Thanks. Rebecca has gotten in this habit where when she gets nervous or uncomfortable, she like plays with her hair, which is something new that she was doing while she was in college.
Yeah, she's probably noticed he doesn't move quickly at all. Like he constantly moves like he has a stitch in his side. It took him a while to get up the stairs.
So how are
So,
you and Veronica doing?
oh, we're doing great. It's the funniest thing. I originally thought she was in it for the money, but I don't have it anymore, and she's still stuck around. So that was pretty cool. She's actually pregnant. We're having our first kid in the winter. How's that for kismet? 5 years, wintertime. I mean, what are the odds, right? Pretty good. Uh, got a job at the library.
You work at the library now, of all places.
Yeah, I'm the head librarian. I
Oh,
took over from Mr. MacArthur
that is
after he
one
died.
place. That is one
Yeah,
place I didn't think you would end up because
yeah.
if I remember,
What
you
um
weren't really into
what do you
books.
do now? I mean, I sent you a couple letters with what I've been doing, but I didn't hear back. What have you been up to?
Oh, I am in my last semester. I am studying herbalism and spiritualism. I
Oh,
started learning how to make herbal medicine and do a few seances for people for
oh,
money.
nice.
Joshua
Useful.
leans in. He's just like, "You should smell the apartment, dude. It's rank."
I can smell it now. I can smell it in my mind's eye. It smells spiritual.
He
Hey,
looks at you and he's
um,
like, "The mind's nose. If you're smelling, you gotta smell with your mind's nose."
yeah, definitely. So yeah, let's eat. Guy, I I have not been here in forever. I forgot how wonderful your home was. Look at the pictures. Weren't we so cute when we were kids? All innocent and fun.
As you make a sweeping motion towards the pictures on the mantle or on the side tables, you see Gage. Both of you see Gage just dematerialize through the door.
And you can tell flatly Tommy knows he's there and almost expected it.
Rebecca is not surprised. She's just confused as to why he just showed up. Um, she looks at Tommy and like leans forward and she's like, "So does he like follow you now, or
Oh,
is
yeah,
he
they all
just
do.
okay?"
Yeah, once
All
once
of
you
them?
left, someone had to watch out for them.
Uh,
So they picked me.
so
Engage
all of them
nods.
follow you?
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, I work with kids now mostly. Lots of them. Some I didn't even know were still living in town. But I have a couple interns, and the staff have been great since I came on, very accommodating, and I even have two apprentices that have been really stepping up and helping me out with my work.
Well, I am glad that you're doing so well.
Yeah, definitely. I've missed you, and you too, Josh. And obviously you too, Mister and Mrs. Winters. And I'm so excited for your wedding. Thank you for the invite. I didn't think I was going to get one, so I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you grew up in the house, Tommy. Like, of course, you're going to be invited.
And I appreciate that. It means a lot.
And at
Family's
this, you
important.
see you see Gage kind of come closer to you and just kind of jerk his head towards the door.
And he kind of like doesn't look so much and kind of gives this like thumbs up or thumbs down motion with his arm like on the other end of the chair.
He, you see him look back towards the outside of the house, and then he looks back at you and just
Oh gosh, oh man. And he kind of looks at the clock and then checks his watch because people wore those back then. Um, yeah, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot. I gotta go drop Veronica off. at the class for the breathing and the baby.
And you see
So
Mrs. Winters come over and just grabs the plate, piles it with food, and puts it in your hands. Like, just bring us back when you're done, Tommy. Don't go
I'm
out there without
not
some
gonna
food.
I'm not gonna lie, I was really hoping you were gonna do that. And he gives her like a peck on the cheek
Yeah.
and his trademark smile. Uh, Next, before the wedding, you should come by the library. Tonight, if you want. I mean, we have an event that's going on very, very soon. And he kind of points towards Gage. Uh,
Um, sure. After we eat and me and Alice finish getting everything ready for the wedding, I'll come by and visit.
I mean, no, don't feel obligated. I, I wouldn't want you to feel like, you know, you're stuck or that, someone's forcing you to come over and hang out.
No, it's fine. I'll
All right.
come back.
Great. Well, again, it's great seeing all you guys. I'll see you later, and I'll tell Veronica you all said hi.
Everybody is happy to see you. Everybody's waving goodbye to you. Uh, Outside, you see Gage has already popped into the passenger seat of your car.
I jump in the car with Goose and get ready to take off.
And you follow him, and he leads you to the beach, to the outlook. And you can see that there's a military jeep. There's a couple of soldiers that are posted up by the bridge. One of them is kind of skipping stones. But the fourth one is the one that he kind of points at. And you can see that he's set up in the passenger side of the Jeep, kind of legs folded up on the dashboard, and it looks like his head is slumped like he's asleep. But Gage is pointing at him, shaking his head.
Gonna have to be a little clear, bud. Have you figured out that thing I tried to teach you with the writing on the dirt, like with your finger?
He looks
Um,
down sheepishly and just shakes his head no.
all right, buddy. We'll figure it out. It's gonna take time, you know? No one creates a friendly poltergeist overnight.
Or a creepy
So,
one.
all right then. All right, we'll start here. Should I be afraid of this guy?
He looks back at it, and then he looks back at you, and he kind of shrugs like he's
Okay.
unsure.
Do you think he can see you?
He nods.
Okay. Do you think he's connected to the witch?
He nods again.
Okay. Do you think that he's working with my father on some insidious plan?
Cocks his head to the side, and then he's just like unsuredly shakes his head no.
Well, I was hoping I could finally get the bastard in the act. Uh, all right. Well, uh, so he can probably see you. He's probably has something to do with the witch, and he's working for the military. This is a great combo. Thanks
You
for
look
pointing him out.
you
That
look
that
back
does.
over at him, and he's not there.
Is he dead? Like, I mean, is he a ghost and I'm just not aware of it? Like, they all blend together for me now.
Gage shakes his head no.
Okay, just checking. I'll tell you what, you look out for him and I'll keep an eye out for him and hopefully he won't military us to death.
And you see from the back seat, the soldier leans in. What do you mean?
Huh.
Who are you talking to?
Nobody. Uh just a friend. So, come here often?
I think it's best if you leave, sir. And you see him get out of the car.
I I was mostly joking. I assumed you'd come here often now that my father has arranged for all of you to turn this beautiful historic landscape into another part of the industrialized military complex.
You see him put his
No
fingers
judgment.
in his mouth and he whistles, and the other three turn their flashlights on and point them in your direction.
Hey, gentlemen.
One of them comes over, looks into the car, recognizes you. Mr. Corey, can we help you with anything?
Nah, Jake. I'm just kind of. Sometimes I just like to come up here and think. This is a good thinking spot. The waves are good for thinking. I mean, that's what you guys were doing, right? Hanging out by the water thinking.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
your
Yeah,
friend definitely was. He
you
was
know,
sitting with his legs up on the dash. That's not regulation, from what I
it's,
understand.
it's routine. We're doing our patrols around the island, Mr. Corey.
Dad's got you doing patrols now?
The other one that somehow got into your car just kind of sighs. He's like, he's yanking our chain. Let's get out of here. And you see for a moment, almost an instant, blink and you miss it kind of situation where his eyes look like they flashed red.
I never caught your name, soldier. I know these guys. I don't think I know you. You can call me Tommy. And he holds his hand out.
Just kind of looks at you for a moment. There's no flash of red in his eye. And he goes, I have work to do, sir. He starts walking back to the Jeep.
I've never worked with you directly, but you may have worked with a friend of mine. She doesn't live here anymore. I think she might have a sister kicking around. Do you know her?
Just shakes his head as he continues walking away.
All right. Well, I have a feeling we're going to run into each other again. Call it a hunch.
The private first class that's in charge of the group looks down at you. You have a good night, Mr. Core.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, before I forget, and he reaches under the seat. It's illegal for people to drive with these, so it would really mean a lot to me if you guys took them off my hands so that I don't get in trouble. And he passes the three guys each a beer that he conveniently had stashed under his seat.
Okay. He looks at them and he's just like, all right, yeah. Thanks, Mr.
You guys have
Corey.
been working. Hey, there's a party. There's a party coming up tomorrow, and you guys have been working hard.
Yeah.
But don't tell Captain Sirius over there.
Oh no. And you see that he puts one in each of his side pockets and he just kind of jams the third bottle into his jacket pocket.
Before I take off, what's that guy's deal? And I am going to use my considerable charm to hopefully get a positive answer.
Okay, go ahead.
I am going to roll a 1.
your
All hunch.
charm is is your highest stat, and you rolled a 1.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I'm going to roll any higher than I did last session.
Okay.
I rolled like 70% of my rolls were 1s.
Like all good things, though, you do get an adversity
Yeah.
token.
Where's my? I'm going to use the dice roller that has the sound effects because everybody seems to love it.
Okay.
All right. It's a 17.
Okay. So you're not going to use the actual dice. You're sticking with the program. It's a bold move, Cotton.
Hey, it worked out great for me last time. Look at all the adversity I racked up.
Touche. He looks at you, he's just like, Man, he transferred in last week, and he has been an issue for everybody.
Define issue.
He's just a by the book kind of guy, man, and it's just like third or fourth generation soldier who just fucking,
Well, a
he's
by the book.
he's got a
Uh,
hero complex.
well, a by the book soldier wouldn't have entered a civilian's backseat of his car in the middle of the night without giving any indication of his presence, especially since I'm not trespassing on private land.
Yeah, it's just that's how he is.
Yeah, by the book.
Quiet, creepy.
Very creepy. You notice that too?
Yeah.
You ever catch him do anything creepy? Does he hang out at the quarry at all?
Yeah, that's where everybody hangs out.
Yeah, but I mean like hang out. Like you go down there.
I mean, yeah, he's stationed at the bottom.
Ah,
He's part of the
gotcha.
surveying crew.
Oh, he's a surveyor. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that makes sense. All right. Well, all right, Jake. You guys keep it easy. Thank you for your service. Enjoy the
Thank you
beer.
for the beer.
And he drives off with additional information that will no doubt prove to be something that gets him killed.
No. Tuesday
Appreciate the
night,
heads up, Gage.
he nods. Tuesday comes around. Nothing major has happened the night before. The library again in the morning is quiet. Gage is kind of sitting over by the beanbags, just lounging. But you notice that more and more of the spiritual kids have started to kind of hang around the library.
Well, it's the safest place on the island for them.
Even Johnny has made his appearance known to you once or twice.
Yeah, that one definitely fucks with him. He would have shown him his tattoo. He's got Johnny with a Red Sox logo and his birth and death date on his arm. Uh, all right. So bunch of ghosts. Nobody else is here using the library right now. I'm the only one here.
Yep.
Right. I use that time to get some work done because I have a feeling that we're going to be dealing with a witch, and I need to find out if familiars are a thing
Okay.
and people that might aid them that might have red eyes. So I hit the books and start doing research till Becca at some point shows up.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
When does Rebecca want to pop into the library?
She probably would have gotten up like super early,
Mhm.
cooked her some breakfast, and then probably would have headed over there while Josh is still asleep, so she doesn't have to bring him.
You don't think he would enjoy the library visit?
No.
No, he's got to face the dawn in warrior pose, so he
It's true.
might not. Yeah.
But yeah, about not even 30 minutes into the first hour, you hear the little bell at the first set of double doors that leads into the library, and in between that hallway, you see Rebecca coming in.
And she walks in, there's just dead kids everywhere.
Oh, you were
Ghosts,
serious.
dead kid ghosts. He doesn't
You
have
were
dead kids all over the library. That would be the wrong game.
That is a different game, dude.
you were serious when you said that they all kind of hang around here.
Yeah, it's the safest place on the island. Witch killer lives here. and so does the second generation.
There's a second generation.
Oh yeah, I'm setting up a franchise.
You're putting kids in danger.
No, I am teaching kids that would possibly be in danger what to do if they are in danger. You know, the kind of stuff that we probably wish someone would have taught us when we were their age.
Yes. But you teaching these kids how to do this is just gonna make them want to go do dangerous things.
Oh no, I actually have a good way to stop them from wanting to do it. And he pulls up his shirt, and there's just meat missing and scar tissue and old stitches. And yeah, I show them this, and they generally don't want to run after the witch at that point. Only the really dedicated ones do. And he smiles and puts the shirt back down.
So, any new books? I haven't been here in a while,
Why
so
didn't
I
you
don't.
send me any letters? I wrote you like 80 times.
The one time
Why?
I wrote you, Veronica sent back many letters threatening to basically harm my sister. Veronica's kind of crazy. Don't know if you know that. She's very obsessed with you. It's very creepy. Don't understand why you got married to her, but that's you. Live your life. But so I just stopped. I just stopped responding
Huh.
back.
I didn't know that. Well, I'm going to sure have a talk with her later. How long's that been going on?
When I first moved, went to college, it started because I tried to. I got your letter and I sent one back. So I did respond, but then I started getting letters from her. And so I just stopped.
Well, sure, there's perfectly reasonable explanation why my wife, whom I love and trust, and my best friend, whom I loved and trusted, one of them might be lying to me. I mean, what are the odds? uh,
Buildings,
but
and two more customers come in. Two
do I know
that
them?
you recognize, but have not seen on the island for some time.
Oh no.
It is everyone's favorite set of twins.
Yes, so I'm so excited to see them. Uh,
Oh, could have called that.
Rebecca immediately just goes and hugs both of them.
They feel weak, frail, but they're excited to see you. And then they
We,
both slowly turn to look at Tommy.
It's been like 12 years. Stop doing that. I've asked you since we were like 10. Don't do the creepy double look thing. Give it like a half second, 1 second, 2 second delay. Work it out amongst yourselves which one's going to look first. I don't care, but just you'll get there in the end. You'll both look at me, but it'll be less unsettling.
And they both slowly turn their attention back at Rebecca.
oh, how have you two been? I know you left because you guys are getting sicker, and I hope you guys are okay.
And in unison, they both, oh, we're glad you're back.
I'm not so glad to be back, but
She'll be happy to see the two of you together.
she? Who? The who is she?
And they turn slowly to look at Tommy and they walk over to him. And one of them
Oh
pulls
God.
a book out of their bag and puts on the counter. I want to return this.
If this is the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, that's been overdue for like a year. So thank you for bringing it back. What is it?
It's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Copy that has been missing for 5 years.
Okay, before I go file this in the return bin and then do the paperwork to put it back into library inventory, since obviously we would have written this off as a theft, am I going to find some weird, creepy detail if I look in this? Like, is this like some kind of symbol, or is it a story that's got a creepy clue in it? Did you magic something? Like, this has to be a thing. Like, you wouldn't have shown up with the book that's 5 years overdue at the exact moment she and I get back together, doing your creepy look as one thing if this wasn't important.
They both look at you. Just a coincidence.
Kind of don't believe in those anymore.
Okay. And they turn and walk out the door.
I pick up the book and start looking through it for the creepy clue that they probably left.
I mean, there's no real visible clue. You can see the little rectangular discolored portions of it where it looks like post-it notes must have lived, but there's nothing written in the book. It's very well taken care of.
Hey, Bex, for old time's sake, do you want to look at this and suddenly know everything about it while I just stare at it blankly?
Sure.
Hands her the book.
All right, let's have Rebecca make a brains roll.
Got a 13.
Of
Okay.
course you did.
It's easy enough to see the same thing, just a little rectangular discolorations from where the post-it notes must have lived. There's a very great care taken to not write on the book itself. You don't see any indentations of writing that happened on top of it. Um, the only thing that you do notice is that there's a page missing, and it wouldn't have been noticeable if not for the fact that while going through the pages, you saw that they jumped from 76 being the next page to 80 being the page it followed. Um, but the previous page seems to describe the horrendous ordeal that Ichabod Crane felt when he first saw the horseman. Uh, and then it goes into the myth of what birthed the headless horseman. So it almost feels like it flows better than whatever was in the book. But without another copy, you don't know what the significance is of the lost page.
You will close it and lay it back on the desk. Um, there are some pages missing, but that's about it.
You pull the button.
You're
Yep.
muted.
Ben all over that.
Yep, that was muted.
That was me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's
Hold it
that's a thing. Just happened again. Get ready, take a shot. So that's like old times. I look at something, I pass it to you, and then you notice everything I didn't.
I mean, if you just flipped through the book, you would have.
No, it only looked that way. I was really looking. I was hunting for clues.
Anyways, this wedding really brought everyone back to town, I see, even those two who, despite my best judgment, I don't think they should be here with how sick they are, but who am I to know? I'm not a doctor.
Well, my best guess is most of them are going to die if we don't do something. Because let's look at the facts, right? Daddy Dearest works with the military to get the quarry reopened. The quarry requires survey people to dig. We know that's where witch number 3 currently lives or lived. Everybody's back in town for this thing, aka the villagers have returned, and the witches need to exact their revenge. That's what they were doing previously. They were killing people. Burned Witch was burning people, and Drowned Witch was stealing faces. And yeah, so I have a feeling that if that we're gonna things are gonna get bad before they get better. I'm hoping we can get out in front of it before people get burnt alive. And he absently gestures to the 6 kids currently looking at the highlights magazine that look like their flesh was melted at some point.
Just wanted it to be normal. I wanted to come back for my sister's
That's
wedding
why you
and
got
it be
out,
normal.
is because you couldn't deal with the fact that it's not normal.
I am not here to do any crazy adventures. I'm here to support my sister. And then when that's over, I'm gonna go back.
You really think that, don't you?
That's what I hope I can do.
There's a bit of a tremor that shakes the ground that you're standing on.
Huh? Timing. What did I just say? And then that happens.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try another one out. Hold on. It can't get any worse.
every time you say that, I have nightmares of you saying that.
Nothing
Nightmares.
happens.
Yeah.
See, I have gained great power in the intervening years since we last hung out. The phrase only has a 10% chance of invoking horrible wrath.
That's still a percent chance too much.
So we have to do something, and let's face it, let's just look at it as you're here anyway. And you're the only other person that has dealt with this.
What about your apprentices that you have? Take them.
The
They're
buildings,
they're
and you see your favorite friend, the ghost hunter extraordinaire, uh, Isaac, come walking in. A little bit worse for wear. There is blood trailing in his footsteps. And he comes over. He's like, "Dude, Mr. Corey, I think I'm a werewolf." And he passes out.
blink, blink.
He thinks he's a werewolf?
Call 911, and I go over and start seeing how he's injured and what's going on.
He has a big bite on his leg, about just beneath the knee.
Can I make a brains roll to see if that's roughly the same size that the large wolf that menaced us as children might leave as a bite mark?
You sure can.
I went back and watched the first 2 episodes, so I would be caught up on things that I might have missed.
No, good. Good for you.
That's 2.
Okay. So at least you're getting that
Boom.
adversity. Uh
Here we
yeah,
go.
no, it looks huge. Sure. That'll definitely look like the wolf that attacked you.
I ain't get bit by a bear.
Here,
But
and
he's definitely
she'll hand
but he's
Tommy the
definitely
phone.
bleeding a lot.
Let
And
me let me look at it. Go talk to them. Go.
oh, now you're a paramedic?
Don't worry about it. Go.
Fine. Well, I'm calling an ambulance.
Okay.
I have a library to protect, and I don't want a potential werewolf, if he's right, to get lycanthropy all over my carpet.
That's the person that has so many dead ghost children in this library. Anyways, just go.
Okay, they're not my dead ghost children, okay?
They just follow you. It's the same thing.
No, my dead ghost child is going to be the one that happens when Veronica gives birth if we don't do something about this. See,
The
I
sheriff's
have a
secretary
vision.
answers the phone. Can I help you? What's your emergency?
Yeah, so we're all going to, oh, hold on. Hey, so this is Mr. Corey at the public library. There's Isaac Fletcher just wandered in with a giant, looks like bite mark on his leg. He's bleeding quite a bit. And
We'll send someone over.
beautiful, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And the phone hangs up.
As I was saying, we're probably gonna, like, my wife and kid are gonna die. All right, just like every member of my family has, except for my stupid parents.
So while this
Like,
conversation is happening, Rebecca has to pull like different jars of her back, and she's like mixing some together. And at one point, she like shakes the mixture, and it becomes like this almost ointment, but it's a funky color. It's like a swamp watercolor, and she just starts rubbing it on the bite, and then like rips a piece of carpet and like ties it around his leg. And she's like, "Yes,
hey, not the carpet. We have towels.
then go get me
Go
a
to the bathroom."
towel. Go get one."
Runs to the bathroom to get some paper towels because he doesn't want his library damaged.
As the salve is being placed on the wound, you see it bubbling.
That's interesting. I've only seen that happen like once. Um, when I was when me and my friends went to like visit an abandoned like hospital, and we found like a dead body there, and I was like, let me try. So yeah, that bite's not normal. That's what I'm trying to say, basically. Yeah.
Tommy's voice calls out from the bathroom. Why would you put salves on a corpse?
Why not? My friends
And
wouldn't
you're
let
the
me.
one and you're the one saying, "Oh, I'm just going to leave." He comes out waving handfuls of towels. "I'm just going to go back to a normal life where apparently I break into haunted places and pour
We didn't break
aloe and
in.
sage all over corpses."
We didn't break in. It was abandoned and open. That's not breaking in. That's just walking in the door.
Fine. Here, towels. Is it supposed to be bubbling like that?
No, normal bites don't bubble like that.
Well, if you put hydrogen peroxide on it, it will.
With the stuff that I made, based on what I've been studying, it only should have a effect if something unnatural attacked said person.
You're such a bookworm.
He convulses, and then this black ball of bile is vomited out, and the wound stops bubbling.
You're welcome.
For what? He's puking oil up all over my carpet.
He wouldn't have done that if I didn't put the stuff on his leg. See? I helped
So
him.
what do you have? A jar of werewolf be gone? Like, did he just hawk up a lycanthropy loogie all over my library?
Well, I wouldn't know what that is unless I tested
Now I
it.
have to get gloves.
Go get gloves.
He runs to the janitor's closet to grab rubber gloves and more towels so he can scrape up the ball of lycanthropy off the ground.
The moment that Tommy runs off, the ball of black liquid screeches and then evaporates, leaving just a black mark on the rug where it was.
And she's right. She's gonna be like, "Hey, you might not need to get the stuff. It screamed and then disappeared."
Hey, objectively, how fucked up is it that we can hear that sentence spoken aloud and neither one of us is reacting strangely to it?
On a scale of like 1 to 10, I'd say like a 12. But
Cool. He just drops all the paper towels and well, is the bite still there, or am I going to seem like a lunatic when the ambulance shows up?
um, it's still there. It's just not bubbling anymore. So
All right, cool. I mean, not cool that he has a leg wound. That's actually pretty not cool, but it's cool that they're not going to think that I pulled a prank because the local stoner wandered into the library. So I just called an ambulance
The
to get
bell
him thrown out.
dings and the paramedics won't come walking through.
Thanks, guys. Here he is. She's a licensed herbologist, and she treated the leg for infection as best she could. Probably saved his life. There was horrible infection, probably.
Yeah, looks like it. And then they just pick him up and take him out.
Maybe you might want to wrap that up. Put a thing on it. Like
Yeah, thanks.
you're not in league with the werewolves, are you?
You don't respond to you.
You know they're probably werewolves too.
working with whatever attacked him.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I think I saw. I guess one of the guys in the military is probably that third witch's familiar because he had flashing red eyes and he totally ninjaed his way into the back seat of my car.
Interesting.
And I just realized that might sound inappropriate. When I mean ninjaed into the back seat of my car, I didn't mean like I was out, cruising and he somehow ended up in my back seat. I meant that he, anyway.
Kind of popped back in the back.
Yeah, and everybody else at the base thinks he's creepy too. He's part of the survey crew, which means he's all the way down in the bottom of the mine. But I have it on very good authority. They haven't found my secret lair yet.
There's a
You-
thunder crack, and then you hear one of the glass windows shatter. And then you just hear the thumping, the hard, almost like shrapnel hitting tin roofs, thumping of hail.
Okay, I'm getting my bug out bag. And he goes, he just face changes, the smile and jovial nature kind of recedes, and he goes to his office to get his bag of stuff.
What's Rebecca doing while he bugs out?
She is putting her stuff back in her bag, and she will. So when the window broke, did it break like inside or did it break like outside? Like,
It broke like hail pushed the glass into the building.
okay.
And there's a second window that is broken upstairs.
She will make the reckless mistake and look outside through the broken window.
The cloud, the day started off fantastic, not a cloud in the sky. And now, as you approach the window, you can see that as far as you can see, as far as the horizon, it is just gray and dark. You can just hear thunder rolling in the distance. And the little piece of ice that comes crashing near your foot rolls in such a way that by the time that it comes to rest, it looks like a little skull of ice.
She will walk over to it and pick it up and shout out to Tommy. Is it a coincidence that the storm started after Isaac wandered in here.
Tommy comes back like a full minute later with a suitcase, and he's kind of tossing a sharp rock up and down that looks like it has a bear carved into it. I got something for you too, and probably not a coincidence. Everything is awful. I look around at my army of ghost kids.
They're gone.
How are they reacting
They are
to
gone.
Oh, they're gone. Great.
They're gone. There's only
Uh,
one little kid left in the library. And it's one that Thomas has not seen before with the rest of the group. And it's one that Tommy barely recognizes. But for Rebecca, this face is familiar. It is familial. And it is one that has haunted her for the better part of her life, because this is Jason,
He will
her younger brother.
drop the hail that she's holding and walk over to him and like kneel down in front of him. Yes, it's okay. I got you.
And you can see that he's just crying. There's no noise. There's no breathing. It's just him, shoulders shaking, just tears and snot coming out of his nose. But whatever he's faced, it's frightened the hell out of him.
I will protect you.
what we do, right?
Yeah, that's what we do.
And there's another shake to the ground. And this time you hear the sound of the explosives going off from the quarry. The military's digging again.
Hey, and he gets down on the same level as the kid, the ghost kid. Hey, if you want, there's a really quiet, really safe place that you can go to, just till we get back. If you go down that hall and you make a right, you'll see an office that says Mr. Corey. If you go in there, that's the safest place in the town. That's where my stuff is. It's where my
You see
it's
him
where my
wipe
safe
his
place
face,
is.
wipes his face. He nods. And then he grabs his little ghost shirt and you see him wipe his nose clean. And then he just kind of straightens out the shirt and nods and starts to walk towards your office, looking back every so often.
And as Becca's kind of watching him leave, uh, she feels something cold and metallic kind of pressed into the back of her shoulder. Not barrel first, but handle first. Come on, Tex. You probably remember this. And when she looks, it's the gun that was taken off the dead trooper when they were 16. Uh, and yeah, before you ask, there's a magic bullet in it.
Of course there is. Also, don't ever call me Tex. We don't do that. No.
Come on, great shooting, Tex. It's kind of like
No,
Bex,
no,
but
no.
Texas gunslingers.
If I take the gun, will you stop calling
Come
me
on, you're
Tex?
like the Wyatt Earp to my Doc Holliday. You're my Charlie Sheen to my Emilio in Young Guns. Great movie.
Fine, as long as you don't call me Tex, I'll be whatever. Just come on.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
And the second that Rebecca grabs the revolver again, there's a thunder crack. And the earth shakes one more time as another explosion is set off. And through the open windows of the library, a little breeze comes in, and you're not sure if it's the hail or if the military has dug a little too deep. But there's a coldness that stretches out over the both of you and feasibly over the entire island. And you just hear a soft cackle on the breeze. And this is where we'll go to break, I think. So we'll see everybody in a few minutes. Stick around. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. We left off with our group having a little bit of a storm come into Yuritalo, a shaking of the military getting back to work and trying to expand the old quarry. And we find Tommy and Rebecca back in the eye of the hurricane, as it were. What's the next move?
Tommy tosses his jacket and takes his tie off and throws it into the back seat of his car. So, where do you want to go first?
There's a break in the clouds over the lighthouse. There's a break in the clouds to the north. And there's a break, small break, that's looking to get bigger in the direction of the quarry to the east.
All right. Think of two things. Ready? Hear me out. Thing number one, we storm the military base. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Option number two, we split up. Also a bad idea now that I'm saying it out loud. You're the smart one. What should we do?
I think just to be on the safe side, we should check the two places that we have been before, which is the church and the lighthouse, to make sure there's nothing still there, and then save the quarry for last.
And should we split up? We can cover more ground that way. I'm sure nothing bad would happen.
We're not splitting up.
Okay, good idea. Hey, we already did that once and we saw how well that turned out for us, right? Huh? Huh?
Yeah.
I did appreciate you sticking around though till I get out of the hospital. I mean, I didn't get to say goodbye, but I heard you were there, and it means a lot.
Well, before I left, I did leave you something, but I don't know if you got it. So
I don't know if I got it. What was it?
it was just like a silly little picture of the two of us at camp one year.
Oh,
My
yeah, no,
mom my mom found it and said,
no, I don't even, no, I didn't. And he reaches into his wallet and pulls out his wallet, and inside is the folded up picture.
yeah, my mom thought it would be a good goodbye present for whatever.
Yep, I got it. I mean, I thought it'd be better to keep it in my wallet so I wouldn't lose it. Besides, it's close to my driver's license, and my driver's license is like me, right? And so by keeping the picture there, it's keeping it close to me, or at least my face with my uh, organ donor tag, which actually is kind of appropriate given our friendship. That might become a
You
thing.
always tend to over explain yourself when you get
I have
feelings
I do have
emotional.
a thing. I have a thing where I do that. I
Uh,
understand.
Let's have you
Um,
get a chance to get some adversity here. Roll, both of you roll brains.
oh God damn it!
Well, I got an 8, so
That's adversity for you.
5.
5 is adversity for you as well.
I could spend the luck and re-roll it, but I'm not gonna because I'm gonna need that to survive later.
No, you just might. The two of you are talking about where to go, the gifts from the past, your hospital stay after the events of the second insurrection by these witches into the mortal realm.
Like you
And
do.
it isn't until the the old tornado warnings sirens go off, that you notice that there's a threat of a tornado around the lighthouse, a threat of a tornado to the north, and there's a threat of a tornado to the east.
I
Hey, did
yeah.
we murder anything to the north?
No.
We should
There
go
was.
there
Oh,
because
okay.
we murdered something at the lighthouse, and we murdered something at the church. I don't know what that space is over there, but I mean, if nothing else, we might get a ticket out of here to Oz, and that's got to be safer.
Yeah.
If you want to give me brain rolls again, I can tell you what's to the north and what's to the east.
Hey, I got a 16.
Hey,
Hey.
that's a success.
18,
That's another
Hey.
because I
success.
rolled a 10. You could
I,
use
lo- I
hallelujah
love
noise.
I love setting a low difficulty in my mind and then having you roll these high numbers and being like, perfect. You'll never know what the real number was. It was 4. To the north is Old Church Hill. To the east is the quarry.
I knew the quarry was to the east,
Mhm.
but that's where the military is, and I'm hoping that they have enough guns to weaken the witch as it tears through them
Mhm.
to get to the citizens.
That's a good hope. That's a good hope to have.
Plus, her familiar is a trained ninja assassin, murder devil demon who's probably going to be able to butcher his way through half of it by himself, so they'll slow him down. So yeah, I say to the north.
You
Besides, that's where the wedding's happening. We should scope out the venue.
you pile into your car, you drive off. There's no one protecting the floating bridge to the church, so you can easily drive up onto it from the beach. And as you make your way over to the actual Old Church Hill, you see that the whole front and top of the church have come undone in the tornado. It looks like it's centered on the church itself, and it's just pulling bricks and timber out of the top and front of this church. And the myriad of broken stained glass swirling about with just this pinprick of light in the breaking of this overcast day. It just washes the area in colors. And every time that it kind of passes, that this colored light passes over a dead person, an afterthought, a ghost of them, just kind of you can see that it causes them pain.
I don't like this at all.
I don't like a lot of things that we have had to do, but
All right. So can I use my preparedness to pull out a giant tub of these little scientific machines that I brought that if we throw into the twister will destabilize it, a la Bill Paxton and Twister.
That's a bold move. Prepared means that you get to spend 2 adversity tokens to just happen to have one commonplace item
And
with
that's
you.
totally common. I've got one in my closet.
You pull it out right now, and I'll let you have 2.
Excuse me, but that would violate Twitch standards and practices for me to do
Okay.
that. So you're just gonna have to believe me.
So you have one thing that you've never tested that
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that.
might
That's
float
stupid.
into the sky.
Okay, so this is a miss, right? This is bad. We shouldn't mess with this.
Yes, but what other choice do we have?
We could go to the quarry where we know the witch is and deal with that. But I don't know how we're going to sneak onto them, or do I?
Do you have an idea of how we can get in?
I suddenly do. Will,
Ben,
what are the odds that that item I could pull out would be my old map of the tunnels I used to get into the quarry from outside of it to my secret lair?
that would be much higher than having the things from Twister from a movie that hasn't come out yet.
All right. So I spend my adversity and I
Okay.
pull out my old map from when I was a kid.
Sure enough, part of your we'll call it the Monster Squad training program is running them through tunnels in and out of the quarry. And digging through your backpack, it isn't hard to find uh, the mapping that you have that can get you from Lover's Bluff down through into Sloan Lake at the bottom of the quarry. It's going to be a wet traversal.
Well, luckily, Rebecca and I are both really nimble. Like, we're both really light on our feet, acrobatic, and dexterous. So this will be fine.
Exactly.
We're gonna die because we're bad. All
You'll be
right.
fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all, you're gonna kill me in every game you play. All right. Let's I believe in this plan. Let's do it.
I'm only at 100% success rate right now.
Yeah, it took you 2 seasons though to kill one of mine, so this one might last.
We'll see.
Bex, what do you think? Good idea, bad idea?
I mean, it's at this point the only thing we have, unless we want to go face whatever's making these tornadoes.
All right. I believe in this plan. Let's do it. I'm excited.
Okay. You drive back through the floating bridge into the main part of Ewart Hollow. You drive around to Lover's Bluff, and you find the old tunnels. It's maybe been a year at most since you brought a potential member through the tunnels. So some of it's grown over. You can see what looks to be a raccoon den off to the side. But you can smell the little bit of seawater, a little bit of brackish water as it mixes with some of the overflow from Sloan's Lake. But the tunnel's there.
Try not to disturb the raccoons. They're the ones that are going to inherit this island after we all die.
There's still raccoons in here. I thought you took care of whatever.
There's a den. Obviously, they've lived here.
Fine.
We established in the previous game that you have a flashlight in your car, so
Yes.
you still have that flashlight.
I also pull out the life preserver in case one of us falls in. I've got the road flare still that I'm sure still works after 5 years. I'm sorry, the
We'll
flare
see.
gun, not the road flare. I've got my sharp rock. I gave her a magic bullet and a revolver. And I added something else to my list. I gotta
Yeah.
check it out.
I mean, according to the Boondock Saints, the only thing you're missing is rope. So you should be fine.
What are we gonna need that fucking rope for?
Yeah. Charlie Bronson's always got rope, doesn't know what he needs it for. He just has it.
Oh god, I love that movie. I wish I didn't, but I do. Dozens of books about folklore, demolitions, engineering. Yeah, that'll come in handy. I've got my Swiss Army knife, sharpened fist-sized rock with a bear carved on it.
Mhm. What do you think Rebecca has on her, given that she's been pulled on this mission out of nowhere?
Uh, she has her ingredients to make more ointment, healing ointment. She does at all time just have like several small spell books with her that she just like reads through. Has not tried any of them, but she's just reading through them. And then that's pretty in like a notebook. Like
You
she
know.
was not prepared for an adventure.
Yeah, but
I'm
you see,
assuming she has her book of shadows at least.
Yeah.
of course. But yeah, you see Tommy just pulling out all these things, his backpack. It looks like this is not the first time this whole collection of things has been brought together. None of you last.
And there's just books, all sorts of books on everything from folklore to uh, the anarchist cookbook sitting in the back of his trunk.
So
And he grabs his suitcase because you never know what you're going to find in your suitcase when you have my perk.
so
So,
how long have you been, planning for this? You seem to have a lot of stuff prepared.
oh, once my gut wound healed, I kind of got a new lease on life, and I was alone, by myself,
Veronica was
without
right.
backup. So I had to learn how to, you know, I kind of picked up the good fight while you were gone. I training the next generation of witch killers, and I
I mean,
you know,
hopefully after this last one, there will be no more of this. Hopefully,
well, come on. With our luck,
with our luck, that'll probably be another one. Someone somewhere down the line. In the
ooh, you know what would suck? If like we win, but the witch's essence get transferred to us, right? And then like we curse the town, and then like the kids kill us because I trained them to do it. And then every 5 years, our ghosts come back, and because there were three witches, but now there's two of us, but we know what's really going on. So like we can totally like destroy the town better than they could.
You
should
hear
write a book.
behind you, you hear, that sounds stupid.
I look, is it military guy?
No, it's twins.
Oh, God damn it.
Are you all? Are you gonna help, or Why did you both come here? Go home. Rest.
We're here to help.
Okay. Fine. You can help. Fine.
I tossed them a flashlight and a baseball bat.
The one twin that catches the flashlight kind of looks down at it, and then the other one just watches the baseball bat go flying by her. It's okay. We're actually
Yeah, I forgot. You probably have some creepy witch magic spell power, hereditary, awful things.
yeah,
God
yeah.
damn it.
And you see both of them just start to undress.
Okay, somehow you got creepier. Somehow you did it. You went from being really creepy to now naked and creepy. And you know what? I am a married man, and I'm not going to look at this.
They're in nightgowns,
Why are
but you can
you?
see that their arms and their legs from their torso down, it's just ritually carved. They have
Okay.
circles, they have incantations, they have runes.
Okay, that's
Rebe-
fucking hardcore.
Rebecca would like to pull out her spell book and see if any of those are in the book.
All of them are from your books, specifically.
You all read steal my books, or do you just know that? Oh,
They
okay.
both shake their heads at the same time.
Now, Rebecca, who do you think wrote your books? It is us, the creepy twins and our long line of witches.
She is going to punch Tommy, like playfully punch, but really.
I accept the punch because now we are equally brawny.
Yeah. Yeah, like literally the moment that Rebecca punches you and you just like take the hit, they both kind of look at you. Yeah, it wasn't difficult invading her dreams or anybody's dreams, really.
What?
Rebecca should be creeped out by this, but she's pretty interested. She's like, "Ooh,
Don't worry, I'm creeped
tell
out
me
enough
more."
for both of us.
Yeah.
She's like, wait. You teach me how? Sounds fun. Teach me.
We can try. Yeah. And then they come over to either side of Tommy and they grab his hands.
No. Bad touch. No.
You're fine. They're not gonna hurt you. Just let them do it.
No. I have
Let
seen
him
these
do it.
movies. I've read these books. No fucking way. No.
All right. And they stand in front of you, they hold hands. The one turns on the flashlight and starts to crawl into the tunnel. And as they go into the darkness ahead of you, you see, you're not sure if it's just the light bouncing off of the iron or metal of the tunnel, but it almost looks like their scars glitter, almost like they glimmer with the bouncing of the light.
Hey, Bex,
Yeah.
I just want you to know that if we live through this, your friends are really, really fucking creepy.
I mean, they're nice when you talk to them. Try talking to them like normal people.
I tried talking to a Doberman once and I got bit.
You both feel the ground shake as another explosion goes off, and this time you
All right,
hear it.
no, that's God's way of telling us we need to be faster.
And you see above you the tornado has now engulfed itself in flames.
Oh, yeah. We should go. We should go.
Oh, somehow my audio died. One moment.
Well, messing things up for everybody. Look at this guy. But you see that the twins are leading you through the tunnel. The moment that you come out towards Sloan Lake, they kind of look around and you don't see them skirt around the water, like they actually dive into the lake itself and start to swim across.
Rebecca's just gonna like start taking off her shoes. She's gonna be like, I guess we're going swimming.
The twins both look at you as they're floating and they're just like, it just makes sense to get wet if we're going to go into a fire.
What do you all say ominous things? Like, God. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. She just
Yeah.
jumps in.
They both look at Tommy and you see them both look at you again and they're just like, it's not like it could get any worse. And then both of them
Fuck you, that's my line.
disappear under the waves.
They're stealing. They stole it, Bex. They stole it.
I mean, you said it a lot. They didn't
Yeah,
really
they
steal
weren't
it.
there for. They weren't there for any of it, which makes it
They
even more
might
creepy.
have been.
That
They
means
might
they.
have been.
That means they like dream stole it. Okay, they dream stole my catchphrase.
They're both being drugged under the water as you're having this conversation.
We should we should.
God, I hate this.
What do you want to do?
Well, I'm gonna follow the twins because that seems like the best option.
That is the best option.
I'd rather keep the devil in front of me than behind me, so I guess I follow the fucking creepy them.
I will let you choose what you want to roll then, because you can either push yourself through the water with your sheer determination, and I can let you roll brawn, or if you want to be graceful about it, you can roll flight.
What about forcing ourselves through sheer willpower so that we can have one guts roll during this trilogy?
Well, grits, you've rolled the grits before.
Nope,
I
not once.
Have I?
I thought you have.
Nope.
I don't.
I
remember.
advocated for it, but then you told me to roll brawn.
You can roll grit for this, sure. just to give you your bingo card.
That is a 9.
I got
Okay.
a 7. Ooh.
Okay. Both of you managed to push past that initial burst of fear as you see the flickering light of this flashlight as it's taking in
High
water. You follow them into the darkness, and there's a moment where you no longer feel what's up. Every direction is up. The twins have vanished into the darkness of what shouldn't be a deep lake, but you're easily 50 feet under the water, almost too deep for Sloan's Lake.
I guess we try to go in the direction they were going. I mean, the odds are pretty good they wouldn't have just let us down here to drown us because they're secretly in league with the witch.
Who would do that?
You.
I don't know how to take that comment. So I will let you make a grit roll to see if you can find your way in this non-gravitational area.
So if you roll, so I got
That
a
is a
12
9.
on my D12. So do I need to roll again?
Yep.
No,
Explode.
you 12 is enough to get you to success.
Okay.
What did Tommy get?
9.
9 is enough. Both of you managed to push yourselves in the direction that they kept going, and there's a moment where you come to what looks like the top of the water. You can see light reflected on the other side of it, but you could have sworn that you were swimming down, or at least following the twins. As you break the surface of the water, you're in the grotto.
Lots of heavy breathing. Lots of shaking.
Yeah.
But pull myself out and kind of immediately break into a little bit of a smile. And without even thinking about it, he kind of like slumps the suitcase onto the stone and plops himself into the easy chair that's been down here for like 20 years at this point that he used to sit on, and reaches behind it and pulls out a can of Coca-Cola from 1986.
Rebecca will get out and she's like wringing her hair out, and she's like, I don't think that's safe to drink, but
It's in
sure.
a can. It's safe.
No, it's not.
And you hear the twins. It really isn't.
Oh God damn!
Yeah.
You know what? I might drink this just to spite you.
Okay.
Instead, I pocket the can because now it's a weapon. The Coke is poisoned. I can use it to my advantage.
But you see that one of the twins is holding up an old miner's lantern. The other one just kind of drops the now defunct flashlight that drowned on the way here
Where did you get the lantern?
in the tunnels.
Yeah, this connects to the tunnels on the outside. I know this area pretty well. Well, all except for the upside down lake down there. I didn't know that was a thing, but if this is even partial to what I remember playing in as a kid, then that tunnel is going to take us towards the deeper part of the quarry. And if we go to the left down that tunnel, that'll take us back to where the office is. There's a lot of twists and turns, but pretty sure I can remember. And I've got my map, and he pulls out the now wet, soggy, just useless map. I had a map that's not a thing anymore. So I'm sure I'll
Rebecca,
remember.
we'll look at the twins. Do you guys know where we're supposed to go?
For the first time, you see them disagree as you hear one of them say left and one of them say right. And they both look at each other confused.
Becca,
Yeah.
one of them always tells the truth, and one of them always lies. Which one leads to the correct door?
Okay, we're gonna try this again. Which way do we go?
It's this way. And I walk straight through them towards the tunnel that I know is going to lead us to the deeper part of the quarry.
All right. You push deeper into the quarry. Followed the wrong thing. And as you descend, it doesn't get hotter like you remember it. There's colder and colder air as you're making your way down through these what were labyrinthine tunnels that instinctively you're walking through. And as you're descending, you can hear this rhythmic hum. And as you get colder and lower, it starts to take on less of a hum and more of a chant.
Guess we found what we were looking for.
I hate this so much. And who said it's better to get wet before going to the fire? It's freezing now. You froze us with your lake.
They've never stirred me wrong, so they had a reason for what they did.
Well, they didn't know which way to go. I
I got
did.
confused.
They both shake their heads. It feels weird here. I don't.
Yes, because there's a witch down here.
And you see them both kind of shake their heads, and you don't know if it's because it's what you've been asking for since 10 years ago, but they're both shaking their heads at different intervals.
They did it.
I think it's more creepy that they're not
Rebecca,
doing
they
it
did it.
at the same time.
You see
They're
them holding each
no,
other's
no.
hands.
Rebecca, they're becoming real girls now. They're making human things.
And they look scared. For the first time in your lives, you can see that there's fear on their face.
They're even feeling emotions.
While he's having this happiness moment, Rebecca will move closer to them and
Oh no! Don't misunderstand me. I'm scared shitless by this, but I'm trying to find the silver lining.
She will place her hand on top of theirs and go, "It is okay. We
They
can do
feel
this if we work together."
they feel like they've been dead for a month. That's how cold they feel.
Oh, this is fun.
Oh,
She's still
All
going to
right.
keep her hand there.
All right. You two go back to the grotto. in your current state, you're not going to be much use down here. And this is what Rebecca and I do.
You see one of them just kind of looks like she's staring off into open space, but then you notice that her body has become desiccated. Her eyes have kind of grayed over and lost the luster that they had. And she just falls over like a plank.
I look for the military guy standing behind her.
There's nothing but shadow.
He's
And
in the shadow.
The other twin just kind of looks at you, and then she looks down at herself, and you see you can hear the cracking of the bones as the lamp is just too heavy for her frail fingers, and her hand is bent backwards, and she just kind of looks up at you. There's a single tear as her body becomes desiccated, and she falls over like a plank.
Holy shit.
They look like they've been dead for years.
Doesn't make sense. Let's just kill this thing and get out of here. They were.
Bex, did I just see what I thought I saw?
Yeah, I saw it too.
It's fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You'd think we'd have gotten used to this by now.
Not that. No, not that.
All right, well, death or glory?
Death or glory it is. Let's go.
I have my suitcase and my rock, and
Yep.
let's do it.
you descend into what looks like a completely new part of the tunnels for you. And as you wind yourself around, the humming, the chanting becomes louder. It is definitely Latin. And it sounds like a tainted version of uh, Our Father. And as you come into what is a balcony into this large chamber, you can see that there's a small well, like a natural well, where the water is kind of sitting there still, even though there's a bit of thrumming on your feet from something just like the earth is constantly shaking here. But you see Mr. Winters, you see Mayor Corey, you see the sheriff, you see the head of the fire department, and you see the old doctor. The five of them are just standing in what looks to be this pentagonal shape. In the center of them, you see the last witch. You can see the desiccated, tree limb like elongated arms, the knife like fingers, just the dislocated jaw, this almost frightening polio looking set of legs dangling in the air, this old traditional woman's garb from the colonial era, and underneath her where she's floating, it looks like there's this bent piece of wood with twine on either end, almost like a broken bow, and there's just some broken arrows at her feet. But this is, as Tommy's research has led to him, to believe that this is Alessandra Van de Pas, the eldest of the Van de Pas sisters, and the only 3 witches that have had their records scrubbed from any and all Salem witch trial documentation.
Oh, are you ready to do this?
I don't know. Does your witch stuff tell you what's going on here? Because I got a dumb idea. I have 3 dumb ideas, and I need to know what you know before I decide which dumb idea I think I want to do.
Do I, within my studies, know what's happening right now?
Give me a brains roll.
Uh,
And before you roll, I will tell you this is going to be difficult, so I'm going to look for at least a 14.
Okay. Yeah, I got a 10.
Okay. Do you have enough adversity to push you, or
I have
no?
one.
So, well, now you have 2 adversity because you failed the roll. In all your research that you've done in all of the historical records of what's happened here and like in the surrounding areas of the Massachusetts Bay, there's never been anything like this. Like pentagonal shapes, the pentagram has always been attributed to witchcraft, but this is strange. Like there's nothing carved into the rock. There's no circles that have been laid out. There's no blood. There's nothing visible. They're just equidistantly standing from each other in 5 points, saying some Latin verses that look like bastardizations of that sound like bastardizations of our Father. And the only thing that you're noticing is that she doesn't look like she's filling out like a normal human. It just looks like there's twitches here and there, like they're. It almost sounds like they're trying to unbind her from wherever she's been bound. That's your best guess.
So I'm guessing that they are doing some kind of ritual to unbind her, but I don't really know.
I knew my dad was a fucking asshole. All right, dumb idea number 2. So are the only people chanting the people in the pentagram?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to make a brains roll to see if I can remember 20 specific Latin numbers
Okay.
from my research.
I'm gonna say that's gonna be at least a 10.
Well, it's adversity if I don't get it right anyway. So
Correct. Unless you
Nope,
have enough
didn't make
adversity
it.
to push you. No?
No.
Okay. I mean, for that kind of reaction, bro.
All right. So I can't start doing incorrect math equations in Latin like I wanted to,
Okay.
because that used to work on Rebecca, and I figured it might screw up their chanting if I started doing it to them. So instead, I'm going to step down from the stairs. Hey, Bex.
Yeah.
If you find a good opportunity to do something helpful, do it. Also, if this doesn't work, I love you. And he steps down off the stairs and walks towards the assembled people and assholes, and waves.
Your dad looks at you but does not break the chant. And you can see in
I'm
his
going to
eyes
try
that
to
he just
use
wants you to
my
not be there.
I'm going to try to use my overwhelming charm to force them to potentially break the chant.
All right.
I would like to flip through the spell book and see if there's a chant in there that can disrupt this chant.
Okay. So I love that sound.
I'm going to add that point of adversity.
Yeah, you
Go.
sure are.
And I'm going to spend those 2 points of adversity I have to re-roll that skill check
Okay.
because I'm lucky.
That's a good use of your perk. Let's have Rebecca do a brains roll.
A 19.
Ooh.
Oh, I got a 20. Let's go.
From the precipice of want
Yeah.
to better.
Yeah. Your dad still looking at you. You see him working in the words, how did you get here, in the middle of his chanting. But then you also start to hear Rebecca muttering a chant of her own.
That's right, Bex. Fuck with him. I, Osium, got Petium, here, Yamaha, through Suzuki, the opium, caves, You, Casio, R, Texas Instruments, A, protractor, asshole, exclamation point.
You hear the sound of twigs breaking and the skull of this woman just breaks itself as it kind of just looks in your direction, and you can see the head reshape, the jaw kind of switches over, clamps itself back into position. And her hand just extends towards you.
Through dad or around dad?
No, it goes over him towards you, and it just elongates unnaturally.
Rebecca
All
would
right.
like to chant louder.
This is the plan. I distract it while Bex does something smart.
And you feel the whole chamber shakes, and at that point you see Mr. Winters kind of snap out of the haze that they're in, and he stops chanting, and immediately her face just feels and sounds like it rips itself off of its axis and turns towards him, and the rest of the head kind of piece by piece follows suit, and you see her hand just come down like one of those old claw machines and just spear 5 different points of Mr. Winters, and he collapses. And then her face again rips from its axis and just stares at Rebecca.
And while its attention is focused on Rebecca and it's eviscerating her dad, Tommy lunges for the eyes with the bear knife. Because Tommy, if he's going to go out, is going out in a reckless blaze of glory.
If I could have you make a flight roll, then.
Well, I can't do that.
Oh, that sounds bad for you.
That's a 7.
Okay.
On a D4.
Okay, so my roll was greater than yours by 1 to 3. So
okay. So you won, right?
So I win.
Okay.
You lunge for the witch.
That's a point of adversity, though, right?
It is a point of adversity.
Okay.
Good catch. You lunge at the witch, and the sheriff tackles you. And you can see the witch, half of her face just kind of rips and looks down in your direction, and there's a smile on that half of the face. The other half of the face is still looking at Rebecca, and you can just see the furrow of anger and just a kind of turned down mouth.
At this point, Rebecca is going to, as she's still chanting, she's going to pull some of the herbal mixture out of her bag and start to draw a little pentagram under her and
You,
stand
you
on
see
it
the
and keep
witch
chanting.
let go violently just of your father, and pieces of him go flying. There's a spurt of blood, and with her open hand, you see the blood just kind of like drip down. And as each drop falls, there's like a little hit and then the slide of a three-dimensional figure. And you see that she's summoned Jason into the room. And her hand slowly starts to go down, just like the same slow claw machine motion. But it's just coming around the parts of Jason.
Before she has a chance to murder her family member for the second time, I'm going to try to shove Barney Fife off me and into Clawhand, so it gets the sheriff instead of me.
Ooh. You can choose to roll brawn or fight.
Well, I'm going to choose brawn because I've been hitting the gym in the last few years, anticipating I was going to get asked to make a bunch of brawn rolls.
Okay. Need to beat a 9.
Oh, I can't do that.
Believe in you.
If I tie, do I win?
Defender's roll is greater than or equal to attacker's roll. The defender narrates the outcome.
So then I'm not going to bother spending the adversity. I'll just add another point.
Okay.
Because I can't get a 9 on D8 unless I roll an 8. So,
Yep.
Okay. What I can do though is use my prepared ability to have a gun. It just so happens the sheriff is wearing his. So I don't pull it out of my suitcase. I pull it off of him and fire at the witch to distract her.
Ooh, do you have 2 adversity too?
I do, because I just got a point for failing that roll.
You sure do. You sure do.
Can I also use a point of adversity for my intuitive roll and ask you, is anything that I am doing, is the chanting or anything that I have started doing helping the situation, or is it making it worse?
Oh, I forgot you had intuitive.
Intuitive says you may spend 1 adversity token to ask the GM about your surroundings, an NPC, or the like, and the GM must answer honestly. So your chanting is most definitely helping your side. It is definitely weakening her state.
Well, we just keep chanting.
Okay.
And we continue to act as a distraction.
So I will need Rebecca to make a grits roll as the witch digs its clawed hand into Jason, and you actually hear him scream in the cave.
It's so rough.
And then
Wow.
Tommy will need to make a fight roll to shoot the gun.
I have an alternate idea.
Okay.
That if you say will work, I will do that instead with my preparedness. What are the odds that I would have a bag of toys that the kids played with when they were alive? The idea being summoning the ghost kids to take on the thing that helped kill them.
I could see one toy being in the suitcase.
Could it be the biggest, baddest kid? Oh, no. Johnny's hat. Johnny was the oldest bully. Johnny was the oldest bully around. He if there's any ghost that's going to be able to at least fighter for a little bit, it's Johnny. So
I got it.
would I even need to use my preparedness for that?
No.
Right. I always wear the hat.
Always wear the hat, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a dumb idea. I don't think it's going to work, but I'm going to try that because whatever buys Becca time to do this is
Yeah.
a good thing.
I got a 10, but at this point she is crying,
Yeah.
but she's very focused.
You manage to remember the fact that Jason has already passed before. Whatever this is, it's either not him or it's something that shouldn't feel pain. So there's a moment where your rational side is kind of like, this is the situation, but then your emotional side is still, and what's I think what's driving your tears is the fact that the scream makes you not believe that this is something that shouldn't hurt. That there's a reason that it's hurting. And it might be the same reason why the twins suddenly couldn't come any further with you. And there's a moment where Johnny's spirit materializes. Excuse me. He bends over, grabs the hat off of the ground where it was knocked off by the sheriff, and you see him put it on. And there's a moment where Johnny doesn't have that ephemeral look like he actually looks like he looked right before he died. And you see him just reach down, grab an old piece of timber, and take his batter stance and just go swinging for the fences at this woman's leg. And as his piece of lumber,
Johnny.
as his piece of lumber interacts with her lumber-like legs, there's just splinters that fly everywhere. She screams, and her hand reflexively opens and sends pieces of Jason flying everywhere. And he just discorporates. He just becomes this nothingness. The moment that happens, the head of the fire department rushes over and picks up Johnny from behind and starts to drag him away. And the only voice now that has been chanting is Mayor Corey. But as he sees his eldest son being dragged away, as he sees his youngest son being pummeled, pushed down against the ground by the sheriff, there's a switch that flips. And he stops. And immediately you see both sides of her face come together with this loud clack that echoes through the cavern. And she's looking dead at him. And right as he takes in breath to say something parental, heroic, or a combination of the two, the same hand that she's been tormenting Rebecca with just shoots forward like a spear. Very reminiscent of how Tommy took his attack 5 years ago. But this one is not a glancing blow. This one is not a lucky strike. This pierces like a knight's lance right through Mayor Corey's upper chest. The sound of the ribs cracking, both in the entrance and the exit, are loud in Tommy's ears. And there's a spurt of blood as Mayor Corey just looks down at his youngest son. And for that moment that the two of you lock eyes, you can see every single regret on his face. And there's a very silent plea for an apology, and then the life leaves his eyes.
All right. Well, that's more trauma. So okay. Okay, now brother's dead, ripped face off in front of him. Dad just got murdered. Guess his mom's still alive. What are the odds the sheriff is somewhat distracted by watching the mayor get eviscerated that was taking part in things?
Even our odds in your favor.
Don't do that. Odds.
So-
I'm an odd guy. Roll the
so
die. What do you got?
It's a 50-50 chance. I rolled a 1, so it is odd.
Okay.
The
So if he's
scream that your dad lets out is enough to both stop the head of the fire department and the sheriff in what they're doing. They both kind of look over, and you almost see the instant when rational and awake minds start to click on, and you can see the shift in whatever has been happening to them into their normal day-to-day routine.
okay. I now am ready to use my preparedness.
Sure.
I will let Becca continue doing her chanting, though, because this might help what I have planned. And it was distracted murdering my father, so Becca probably has at least another round of chanting she can get off.
Of course.
So weaken her, Bex. Show us what you got. 'Cause, I'm using my preparedness to pull out a stick of dynamite.
Oh, not going for the sheriff's gun.
Nope. Tommy's been he's got the demolition books in his backpack.
Mhm.
He's got a stick of dynamite he got from the mine. Mark off that adversity.
So you reach out your hand, you instinctively just swipe, and both locks unpop from the suitcase, and you reach in to where you know your stick of dynamite is taped to the barrel of your flare gun.
All right.
So you have your dynamite, you have your match.
I'll let Becca keep chanting.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be helping.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully the witch will be distracted by the chanting so I can say my final dying words because I'm gonna fail this.
But you see her other hand come over, just pull her spear hand out of your father with like this wet slop of a sound, and your dad thunks next to you, and she turns her attention dead on to Rebecca now that she's the only one chanting, and there's just this creepy cracking of twigs and branches as she just flexes open her hand, digs into the ground, and pushes herself forward towards Rebecca. Let me have a grits roll from Rebecca to continue chanting. And let me have a fight roll from Tommy.
Well,
So I'll let Becca go first because I'd like to have my famous last words ready.
well, buddy, I got a 3, so we're doing great.
All right. So Tommy stands up and looks at the witch. So bitch, it looks like you got 2 Corys, but I think you forgot what the Corey family motto is. And he looks up at the ceiling with the dynamite and then looks back at her. More weight. And he throws the dynamite at the ceiling, trying to cause it to collapse on her.
Okay, so that's gonna be. I'll let you choose between fight or brains.
Brains.
Okay.
Since I
think you
said
have
a
better
really
spell.
cool line, can I use charm instead? Like
No.
that's
No,
you
that's adorable that you would think you could.
okay. I had to ask.
But you see, as you fire the flare to ignite this stick of dynamite,
It's a 9. It's one off the best I can do.
I know. There is this little orb of red, white, and orange light that's just illuminating this whole excuse me, cavern in shades of those colors. And as the stick goes flying out of your hand, this desiccated creature is not paying any attention to you. She's literally passing you without turning her attention towards you. She does not consider you a threat.
Fair.
The stick goes flying end over end. It looks good. It's been the best athletic show you've ever had in your life.
Oh no, you're gonna ruin this, aren't you? You're setting this up for failure.
And right as this witch is about to bring her hand around Rebecca's body, like she's done 2 times already, there's a moment where you see her body being pulled back. And pulling on her legs, pulling her back into the rest of the cavern with the spectral chains, you see this older gentleman that has some familial resemblance to you, to Johnny, to your dad. And the colonial clothes make you almost imagine that this must be what Giles Corey looks like. And the dynamite goes off. The explosion rings through the cavern. Where would we find you both a month from today?
Maybe a hospital, cemetery plot, based on how this works out for me. If it's neither of those places, well, it would also depend on if my wife was secretly throwing away the letters that Rebecca was sending me, because I might be divorced. Uh, Library.
Rebecca would probably be in the hospital just because
Yeah,
this
because we're
this took
probably mangled.
this took a lot. No,
We're both in
this
physical therapy.
this took a lot of her out of her mentally. So I assume she's in like a nice little sleep in
Yeah. So
In which case, Tommy would be visiting Becca because he's already crazy. So he's probably a little bit more well adjusted because now he's seen every member of his family get murdered by monsters.
So we open up a month later. Tommy still bandaged, a couple crutches behind his leather seat as he is watching Rebecca take a mid-afternoon nap. She is not doing as good as Tommy. Her rehabilitation hasn't taken like he has, but she is getting better. The events of that day have been attributed to a military project that was not supervised correctly, and unfortunately led to the destruction of not just the foundation of the base that was going to be built in the quarry, but unfortunately it brought down the old lighthouse, and the ensuing earthquake brought down the last foundations of the old church.
well,
It's been a month. There hasn't been anything bad that's happened in Eward's Hollow. The sources of whatever darkness was on the island has been lifted. The island streets don't feel cold anymore. The spectral children have stopped appearing to the both of you. Everything feels like it's back to normal.
So, first you steal my look, now you steal my bed. Keep getting these role reversals.
Yes.
You want to hear a joke?
Sure.
This is my favorite one from when I was in the hospital. What's a cripple's favorite musical note?
What?
B flat. Got you to laugh.
You see a nurse walk in, clipboard in hand. She looks at some of the readings. She comes over, she takes your temperature, and as her hand starts to slide down your arm, Rebecca, she starts to get towards your wrist where she's going to feel for a pulse. You see her fingers push down against your skin, and then they continue to drive into your arm, and they become spindly and twig-like and branch-like. And Tommy wakes up from his nightmare,
God fucking damn it, Will.
bound to the hospital bed, because 3 coincidences are enough for a jury to find you at least criminally insane enough, put you in a mental institution, and one wall where the window is that overlooks the Massachusetts Bay has all of the newspaper clippings about the deaths that happened in Ewards Hollow while you were there. And how there has been an expose about the one strange and just misunderstood white boy who took it upon himself to create this mythology of a witch to justify the murders that he went on.
The kids still believe.
And this is where our story comes to a close.
All right. No. So this is supposed to be Stranger Things. You turned it into Stephen King.
Wait, is Rebecca even real, or was she just made up?
That's for you to figure out.
Did I live and she didn't?
If that's what you want to survive away from it.
Did I survive a Ravnos game?
I never said that she died, but you are locked up for the rest of your life. So you survived, sure. Yeah.
Done. I could always get out.
Mm-hmm.
I accepted. I accept my death if I died. I was the one changing it.
But yeah, I want to thank the 2 of you for participating in this. I want to thank the audience for joining us on this great story. You wanted to survive. That's all you told me. It's like, hey, let me survive. And I let you survive. So be careful what you wish for, I guess, is the takeaway from this.
Literally, murder. You're a murderer. What?
But as always, thank you. Thank you for the McStabbers for allowing me to run this. It has been an honor and a privilege to be at the table with the 2 of you. And I hope that regardless of how we got to this twist ending, that the journey there was fun for you as it was for me.
Yeah, it was a blast. I fucking love you, Will. I really do. You
And with
fucking
that-
sick bastard, I love you.
With that, we summon the disembodied voice of Shanky McStabber. Ooh.
We don't need all that shit now.
Okay.
First of all, thank you, Revenus Archon, for running this amazing game on our channel. It's always a pleasure when you're running games with us. Thank you to Rev Ben Powers, though you survived. And damn it, man, I was hoping for a death because I'm like that. I admit it. But you survived. Good job. It was a great game. Lanhe, very good. I enjoyed watching it and running tech for it. Everyone, so just so you know, join us on our Discord. Revenus Archon cast this show from our Discord. All of our shows are cast by members on our Discord. So if you join the Discord, that means there's a chance you'll get to play with us at some point because you just watch the casting couch and we post up casting calls and players get to join us. So you should do that. Plus, we do weekly hangouts in Zoom chat and we just hang and chill and talk about whatever comes up, sometimes games, sometimes not. And once in a while, we do non-streamed community games where you get to see Shanky get salty because the Ravenous Archon up there plays him like a cheap fiddle. Just saying. Yeah, see? If you want to catch back episodes, like maybe the first 2 parts of this, pop over to our YouTube. We have not only the past 2 episodes of this, we've got all our vampire, all of our demon, mage, werewolf, changeling, a lot of World of Darkness, Bluebeard's Bride, Paranoia, Monster Hearts, where you also see, well, Ravenous Archon and Red Ben Powers were in that one. You'll see those over on the YouTube. And if you want to see some Call of Cthulhu or D&D 5e, pop over to Ishvel. That's where Tiss, who is our British GM, she stores all her stuff on her channel over in Ishvel. So go check that out. You want to check out some friends? Look at our friends list over there. Matter of fact, got one of them here, Ravenous Archon. He's the storyteller here. He's got his own channel. And Macabre Derek, who raided us tonight. So thank you for the raid, Macabre Derek. And, you know, people should check him out. He does not just vampire, but his vampire workshops, which is really good if you're wanting to be a storyteller. Pop over to his stream for the for his basically his storyteller workshops he does, because he gives you a lot of good stuff with that. You want to catch some merch? We got studio merch. We don't have one for kids on bikes, though. Really, I wonder, we should have just a shirt that says it was all a dream, just to mess with Tommy.
No, it come on, it can't get any worse. That's the line.
It can't get any worse. I mean, that's valid too. And so the viewers know, bits and donations, they go to the players, not to the studio. It is a way for the viewers to give to something to the players. We don't take that. If you want to give to the studio and support the studio, that's what subscribing here on Twitch is for, or pop it over our coffee. But bits and donations, they go to the players. And for the schedule this week, just so you know, we got still busy. We've done Kids on Bikes. This was the finale. Sorry, we're done with this one for now. Until Shadow of the Witch returns. Who knows? You never know with Ravenous Archon. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Demon the Fallen, Season 1, Episode 9. 2 episodes left in the season. Last episode, they did a little rescue mission. This episode, well, who knows what they're going to get up to. They're running out of time to find an Earthbound. And boy, is it causing problems. Friday, 8 p.m., we're back again. This time with Ravenous Archon as the GM a second time for Dune, Blood-Soaked Sands, where you'll get to see myself and Mama McStabber, Junhee, and Alexian Skylark as we're on the planet Arrakis. And where we left off, we have to flee the city, or flee the holdings, basically, and go into the desert because, well, the Harkonnens have attacked and we're fucked. I mean, that's just a fact. Saturday, of course, we have at 3 p.m. Eastern, Call of Cthulhu, the London Esoteric Society, with the amazing DM Tiss. She's our British storyteller and DM who, she's got a cast of, well, not just British people. She's got a nice mixed nationality cast there that comes on. And yeah, it's no sanity left with that crew. Literally, they cannot seem to pass a sanity roll to save their life. And of course, Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, Windy City After Dark, Season 7, Episode 8. We're almost at the end of that season. And let me tell you, wow. Just wow. bad shit's been happening to them every week. But there's some big shit coming by the end of the season. And if you watch it, you'll see big shakeup coming, everybody. Big shakeup coming. Wonder what it's going to be. And as I always end these streams, please, everybody, check in on those around you. Check in on family. Check in on friends. Check in on loved ones. Check in on those you know, especially if you haven't heard from them for a while. Please reach out to them and make sure they're okay, because a lot of people are not okay. And a lot of people think they have to bear the troubles and the stress they're going through alone. And it just takes somebody just being a kind voice, just saying, hey, are you okay? Sometimes to help them out. And if you do suffer from mental health issues, many of us do, like myself included. First of all, it's okay to not be okay. There's nothing wrong, like I said, with admitting. I know some people don't want to admit they have problems, but why? Admit it, there's nothing wrong with that. That is part of life. And you should reach out to those around you. But if you don't feel you can, because a lot of people, they don't. There's a list of numbers you can call or text in chat right now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Someone will be on the other end to help you out and to help you get through it, because everybody, we're in this together, and it's very important to be in this together. And we want to make sure everybody's okay. And if you're not in the U.S., there's a website you can go to in our chat right now that lets you put in your country, and you can find out support lines in your country. So please do that. My wife is not here, but she is a registered nurse. And if she was here, she would tell you, get your damn shots. Please. COVID is making a resurgence again. And let's not have everybody getting caught up and sick and dead from it, please. We've had a couple of people in our community here lately exposed to it, but thankfully they were all had their shots and their boosters. So they seem to be recovering quite well. So that's a good thing. That's why we say for do this. Got to go through so much. I'm not used to doing all the outro. That's new for me in a lot of ways. Please, everybody, so you know, reproductive rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights. And body autonomy is a human right. Everyone is entitled to decide what to do with their own damn body and how they want to live their life with that body. And people setting us back 50 years with bullshit fucking Supreme Court rulings is not a good thing. It's taking a step backwards. So please, everybody, make sure you research and don't be a voter, straight ticket voter. Research. Check to see what your local representatives support. Check to see what side they are on body autonomy. Because a vote against it, well, you're screwing yourself no matter what gender you are. Because it's not going to stop, and they're just going to take more and more from you. People that Congress was, a number of Republicans voted against ensuring contraceptives are available. Fucking birth control. That's the next target, everybody. You don't want to be part of that. And my final bit is fuck Putin. He has not left the Ukraine. I am not stopping until he leaves Ukraine. And of course, please don't be a Jameson Stone or Satine Phoenix. Be Mr. Rogers, be a good neighbor. This community and this hobby in general do not need abusive, narcissistic, controlling assholes in it. You do not need to treat people that way. Don't be like them. Mr. Rogers said it best. Be a good neighbor, everybody. And as the tech weenie for this amazing show, I do thank the players and the GM. And it was a pleasure to watch. And I thank you all for coming out to watch it. We will see you next time. Good night, everybody.